I have gotten a lot of good reception and feedback since my first YouTube video that I've posted in a while. And a common question that I've been asked is, what does my filmmaking process actually look like? And right now I'm currently not on set, but I wanted to try and help you guys as soon as I could. So instead, what I'm going to show you guys is, what does my shot selection look like when I'm filming B-roll? For context, I'm in France right now visiting family, which is very important to me. But whilst I'm out here, I've come across some really nice scenes that I've just seen outside of the car window, and we're at one right now. There's like a massive mural on a building, and I want to show you guys exactly how I'm going to make use of it when it comes to filming B-roll. When it comes to shot selection, the first thing that I tend to think about is what is the most important thing in the frame, right? And I feel like a lot of people don't actually think about this in the right context. Like, what I'm trying to say is, are you actually like relevant to the frame, like, or are you just distracting the viewer from what could be like an amazing shot? Okay, I'm just carrying the tripod right now, but as you guys can see, we're just in like a parking lot in like an estate area, and then we have this massive mural right here, which is very, very beautiful, right? And immediately I already know that the subject is going to be this mural. It's not going to be me. So the first thing that I think about is framing, but more importantly leading lines, because the thing with framing is that stuff like circles, squares, rectangles are going to be harder to find initially, right? When it comes to leading lines and frames, right, there's multiple ways you can create them. You can create framing by placing things in the foreground. So you saw at the beginning with the talking head, I placed the two trees in the foreground to create this like rectangle frame around me to guide your attention to where I was sitting. Outside of that, you can use camera angles to create frames. So for me, when an angle or when a shot looks too flat, what I end up doing is I tilt the camera. And strangely enough, it creates these nice leading lines. Experiment with this the next time you're filming, if you're filming a talking head or a B-roll. Like, if something just looks a bit too flat, tilt it, and I promise you, it will create a way more dynamic shot. So immediately when I approached this environment here, I already knew there was such a big difference in scale compared to me and then the mural. Like, even the drawings, even the paintings on the mural are quite lanky, and then the building's very tall. I knew that was going to be the subject, not me. And to emphasize that scale, or to emphasize that importance, I'm going to use a low angle just to make myself look smaller in comparison to the background. And then outside of that, I'm going to put myself in the first third and then the subject in the second and third third, that just means it takes up more space in the frame. But I can already see in my head like this is going to look cool. It will have a bit of a tilt as well, just to create a bit more leading lines, because at the moment, if I just placed it straight at a low angle, I think it just look a bit too flat, right? There'd be no like sort of lines leading towards me, and it's quite open grass, so there's nothing I can really put in the foreground. So at least this way, we're making the shot still look a bit dynamic. Hopefully I haven't confused you guys. I'm going to try to film as much as the behind the scenes as possible. I've only got one camera, but let's get into it. You can see like the tilt on the camera screen. You can see that it's tilted, but it creates these nice like leading lines. Right, you can see the third. So the tree is in this first third. The building's in this first third. The tree's in the third. I'm probably going to move the camera so it's lower, but you can see just already how much more dynamic this looks with just tilt. And I have this like, I don't think this is true, but when I tilt the camera, it also gives me more space to play with, more negative space to play with, and effectively then it just makes the angle seem a bit wider as well. So I do have my 16mm with me. I'm going to see how that looks compared to the 24. So if you give me 2 secs. Okay, sick. This is the final angle. And that's basically my filmmaking process. And it's not as long as I made it seem. I literally approach an environment, think about what sort of vibe I want to communicate. Are there any leading lines that I immediately notice? And then what is the subject in the frame? Then I use a camera angle to complement that. So whether that's a Dutch angle, whether that's a low angle, a close-up, or a wide angle. The thing with wide angles I don't want you guys to forget is, bro, turn up your aperture so that everything is at least in focus. And then outside of that, I just make sure I leave every environment with a shot that I'm happy with. And what I mean by that is, if you only had one shot to make it count, with the shot that you just filmed, be it. For me, this is the shot of the day. I've only come to this one location today, but that is basically my B-roll filmmaking process when I'm traveling. Hope you guys found that helpful, and I'll see you in a bit.